Hey guys, DJ Jack back with you here once again with another video. We got some music news to talk about. Not movie news, but music news, yeah. Also starting with Bruno Mars. So, Bruno Mars allegedly owns $50 million in gambling debate. Really interesting. He's going to need some 24 karat magic for this one. Also, today is the birthday of Adam Levine, the lead singer of Maroon 5. And yes, today would have been his birthday. Today is his birthday. So, great. Also, bands going on tours. Weezer announced last week that they are going to be going on tour. Weezer's a great band. They're a great band, like a great newer kind of rock band. Like, I guess they were around the 90s, but in 2000s. Yeah, they're announcing they're coming. And also today, a special older music in like the 70s, the Electric Light Orchestra, ELO, announced they are going on their farewell tour later this year. So that's really exciting. So we got a lot of people coming to Philly. A lot of bands are saying goodbye. A lot of bands are not saying goodbye. A lot of bands are coming. A lot of people are coming. It's great. We got Green Day coming this summer. I'm going to see Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins in August. That's going to be a great show. Possibly going to go see Def Leppard and Journey, which I'm really looking forward to. And that with Steve Miller, which probably be a good one. We got the Rolling Stones, of course. We know that they just released their album, so they're going to be coming soon. And we got a lot of people coming this year. We got a lot of good people. 90s, Hody and the Blowfish. And Ed McClain will be coming. McCain, yeah. Edwin McCain, I think his name is. Yeah. Really great. We got lots of people going on tour. Everybody's going on tour. It's great. It's really, really great. Also, I have been mentioning to some people in the comments people have told me, how about you share some stuff about, or cover some songs of some newer artists. Maybe I'll do that really soon with you guys. But for right now, we're talking older stuff and newer stuff, because I'm basically time and time. I have my own, like, Spotify playlist with all different formats of different radio station formats. Basically, to make it kind of like radio, but it's not really radio. It's just my Spotify playlist. It's just my playlist. But I made them into, like, my own kind of thing, calling it like the Wink FM, which is over on my Spotify of today's hits and yesterday's favorites adult contemporary format, which I made up the station called 107.1 Wink FM, which is really good. And it plays stuff from the 60s to now, which mostly on the radio today, it's 80s to now, but I'm still one of those people that still consider 60s music in the adult contemporary format, because I think it still needs to be remembered as it used to be part of the 60s format, used to be part of the adult contemporary format. So back in the early 2000s and 90s and stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna get rid of the 60s stuff coming in, because I still important to remember the oldies. You know, it's important to memorize and remember the oldies, because those where radio started, and that's the way it should have been, and that's the way it should have started to stay that way. But since a lot of the 60s singers have all mostly passed away, some of them are still living in their 80s, but a lot of the times, like now, it's the 24 to 54. That's the audience radio is focusing on today, the 24 to 54 audience and listeners. And that's great, but that's why 90s music is considered oldies now, because 1990, now if you're going into 2024, that was, I believe, about 34 years ago, something like that. Isn't that interesting, guys? Yeah. That was like 34 years ago. It's hard to believe that 1990 was 34 years ago, and now that's why 90s are considered oldies. You know, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Yeah, and that's why 90s music is being played on the radio, because 90s are considered oldies now, which I still consider 60s. Nothing's gonna pass the 60s. I'm sorry, nothing's gonna pass the 80s. 90s can go as far as they can. Anything past 1995 is rock and roll. Anything over it is not. Past 1995 is not rock and roll, basically. If you're gonna consider me like saying this because somebody said it all started in the 50s with rocking around the clock. Yes, rock and roll music did start with a lot of people think that are older, like in their 70s and 80s, that are DJs on the radio, will say it's all started with rocking around the clock. Anything past 1995 is not rock and roll. It's considered alliterative rock. Yes, alliterative rock would be considered past 1995. Not rock and roll anymore. It would be going to the alliterative rock. So, if you disagree with me on that, I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to argue with you. But guess what? That's how it is. It's alliterative rock after 1995. It's all alliterative rock. It's not rock and roll anymore. It's alliterative rock. The new generation of rock. So that's all in time and time. But we're going to talk about other stuff too on this channel later on. So hit that subscribe button. I'm going to run out of time here. So see you soon.